Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? Welcome to another edition of the Taking the Points NFL Betting Show, your number one source for all things NFL sports betting. Coach Jay, welcome back. How are you doing, my man?
Doing good, thank you, Grant. Congratulations on your stellar week last week.
We'll get to it.
He's so
JJ,
proud.
JJ, what's going on, my man? How are you?
A whole lot. Don't be so excited, man. What did you go? Like 18 and 17? What was it? 18, 16?
I went 17 to 15. You guys went 16 and 16. But a win is a win. So a win is a win. Kyle Jennings says, yo, what's going on, Kyle? We asked you guys earlier. We told you guys at 300 subscribers, we would give you guys a jersey. You guys hit the mark. So all you have to do is go to the Taking the Points Twitter show, comment on the live show that you're there, comment, enter whatever you want to comment, and we will pick from those. We'll announce the winner here soon. So all you got to do is go comment on the live show. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm coming to you first, Coach Jay. I got to come to you. Your Washington Commanders, man. They sold the damn farm. Chase Young's gone. Montez Sweat's gone. Initial reactions and overall just thoughts on the entire situation.
Well, it's a tough deal. Both those guys only had 1 year left remaining on their contract. You'd like to think they would have signed one of them long term. They couldn't make the decision or couldn't get the deal done. Time's running out. And instead of losing them for a conditional draft pick in a couple years, they went ahead and traded them, got some picks and some things they can use next year. I mean, it surprises me they got rid of both of them. Not sure why, but they did it.
So for next season, if you're in the war room, what moves are you going to make to improve that roster going into next season? I know it's early jumping the gun, but
you got to find defensive ends now. I mean, you got to find pass rushers. They just lost two of their best ones. You know, they have two good players on the inside, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, but they need pass rush. They need corner help badly. I think they might have right now. It looks like they missed on their first rounder last year. He's struggling a little bit. They probably need another corner. Obviously, they need more offensive linemen, but I also think they need a blocking tight end. You know, Logan Thomas is good out of the passing game, but not very good in the core when it comes to running the football. And if you want to run the football, you have to have a physical tight end. They really don't have a really good physical tight end on that roster. So offensive line, tight end, pass rushers, corners, and maybe a linebacker. Other than that, they're pretty good.
I thought it was weird. Again, I know we were talking about the trades to trade deadline approaches. It's never lives up to the hype. I know the NBA trade deadline does. But overnight, JJ's kid was probably still counting as Halloween candy. And overnight, after Halloween night, the Raiders, McDaniel's gone, GM gone. I mean, they were sending us DMs. So what are your thoughts on the Raiders situation? Xander says, let's have a day. But what are your thoughts, Coach, before we get into the picks on the Raiders situation? Because they clean house as well.
Yeah, I think there had to be some internal issues there because being 3-5 is really, it's not great, but it's not worthy of being fired, in my opinion, early in the season. They still have a lot of games left. There had to be some internal issues. Obviously, the Devontae Adams issue is a big one. You know, they went out and signed Jimmy G, and he struggled a little bit. So they let Derek Carr walk out of the building. Some of those decisions that Josh made, I think, have all come to a head, and the owner's like, it's time to make a change. Again, this will be the 8th coach since 2011, I believe it is.
Yeah, they've got Jimmy G paying him 72 M's, and the dude couldn't throw it into the ocean if he was standing 5 feet from it. It's got 9 interceptions, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. You look.
I don't know if he's that bad. His protection was absolutely atrocious in that game.
I feel bad. You said it, man. I feel bad for Devontae Adams. The guy deserves better. I mean, he's open all the damn time. It's disappointing. JJ, I got to ask, how was Halloween, man? I saw the post of your kid. How was Halloween night for the kids?
It was good, man. It was really good. The neighborhood was awesome. It was blowing up. I think there are a lot of people that came into our neighborhood to trick or treat here because they put on a show, man. I mean, every driveway had candy. All the parents were out giving out candy, and like about 16 or 17 of the driveways had freaking drinks, giving out beers and margarita popsicles and Jello shots. And I didn't know I was going to go on a bender on a Tuesday night, but there I was.
Went on a bender on a Tuesday night to watch the Magic lose, and I watched the Cavs lose. So it was a pretty ugly Halloween night. I'm thankful the 49ers on a bye this week, so I don't have to watch Brock Purdy put up another piss poor performance. He's your guy, Brock Purdy's. He's sliding, JJ. He's sliding, man. He is showing us why he was the last pick of the draft. But without further ado, let's get into the picks this week. Show the overall records. I know I'm still pulling the damn wagon at the bottom. They gave me the trophy because I won this past week. Coach Jay, congratulations, man. You're still well out there in front. And JJ, you're not far behind. So if JJ has 1 24-4 week, I mean, we'll be right back in. And I need to have one of those weeks where I'm in piss. But let's go ahead and get started. Thursday night football, Titans Steelers. Get the picks up there. Here we go. Everyone's on the Titans to cover. Will Levis, Coach Jay. Will Levis looked absolutely fantastic in his NFL debut. 4 touchdowns, 3 to DeAndre Hopkins. Everybody said DeAndre Hopkins was washed. He looked damn good. Thoughts on Will Levis's debut, and do you think, Coach Jay, that that's going to carry into their Thursday night matchup with the Steelers?
It was impressive. 4 touchdowns. The Titans haven't thrown 4 touchdowns all year. He got it 1 game. So a lot to be hopeful about in Tennessee tight land, but we got to just pull back the reins a little bit. We got to make sure Derrick Henry gets involved. The running game was key for him in this football game, and they stayed ahead of the chains, gave him some opportunities to do some play action passes where they didn't ask him to create a lot of things on third down. They were 5 for 15 on third down. Not great, but they did enough to win, and the defense kept them in it, and Derrick Henry played well. So Will Levis, hats off to you, but going to Pittsburgh, it'll be tough. I just took Tennessee because I think Pittsburgh's struggles on offense is real, and I just think it's going to be a tough game for Pittsburgh again.
You think Renegade's going to rattle Will Levis, Coach?
I heard they didn't play Renegade last game for the first time in probably the history. Usually they played it at the start of the fourth quarter when things are getting a little exciting. I heard they didn't play it. Not one time.
Like as Mitch Trubisky was in.
Yeah, probably.
He's bad. Kenny Pickett is going to give it a go in this game. I know the injury designation was kind of questionable there. JJ, you're on the under. Kenny Pickett doesn't look good. Are you you don't think Will Levis is going to repeat his success last week and you're going to hit the under there?
Well, I think Kenny Pickett is out. Is he not? I think he's questionable.
No, he's going to play.
Doubtful.
He's going to go.
Play? Well, still,
Yep.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Titans defense looked good last week too. Let's give them a little bit of credit as well. I mean, they played pretty well as well against the Falcons, and they did a lot to limit Desmond Ridder. I mean, they basically pulled him out of the game because their defense was so top notch against him. So, I mean, Tennessee's defense looked good. I think going into Pittsburgh Steelers territory, it's gonna be hard for them to score. And again, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, they can't really move the ball in the first half. I'm not sure how they're going to do in the second half. We'll just have to see. There is a bet that I really love in this game, and this is like an eye opener. 50-1 odds. A team not to score a touchdown tomorrow night.
What?
Bizarre, but I mean, I think it's worth it. You have one of those games on a primetime game where both teams don't score. We saw it happen twice last year. Hasn't happened so far. I think it's due. I think
both teams or just one team?
Both teams, no touchdown.
Oh,
Jay, thoughts on that? Thoughts on that bizarre 50-1 bet?
There'd probably be a defensive score.
Oh, let's see. Well, you can maybe hedge it a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah.
I
it's
think
not a bad bet because Tennessee's going to have to run the ball. Obviously, Pittsburgh's going to have to run the ball. There'll be a lot of punts, but you never know. One long PI, something like that.
Yeah.
Cam Hayward is also going to be back, it sounds like, tomorrow night. So that's going to wreak havoc.
That's a big one. I might switch my play then.
Big one. Again, guys, just want to mention one more time before we keep rolling. If you entered the giveaway again, all you have to do is be subscribed. Go back to the Twitter, reply to the tweet of the live show. That's all you got to do. We'll pick a winner here later on in the show. But let's move on to my Cleveland Browns facing the Arizona Cardinals. JJ, you're with me this week. JJ's taking the Browns to cover. I'm sorry, Coach Jay, but I'm not buying Clayton Tune to cover on the road in Cleveland. I mean, I've never heard of Clayton Tune in my life. On the road, that defense is good. They just kind of had Geno Smith struggling a little bit. So, Coach Jay, I'm sorry, I got to trip you a little bit, but walk me through the Clayton Tune cover. If it's PJ Walker, he's a turnover machine, so I might get it. But come on, Clayton Tune, man, really?
I screwed up. I thought Kyler Murray was playing. That's why they got rid of Josh Dobbs. That's not true.
They're saying there's a chance that he plays, but I doubt it.
He's playing. He's got to play. Why would they trade Josh Dobbs if he's not playing?
Why? My thing is,
they benched him. They said they're going to bench him.
Why would you? If there's a game you're going to bring Kyler Murray back, why would you bring him back in Cleveland in the rain?
Cleveland gave up 50 points to Indianapolis, for God's sakes. That defense is a myth right now. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. I just took the points. I'll switch that. I'll go to Cleveland as well if Clayton Tune's playing. I didn't know. I thought Kyler Murray was playing. So make sure you make that note. I'm taking Cleveland minus the 8.
Got it.
Thank you very much.
Who knows? You might have gotten great value. Who knows? They might put in Kyler Murray's salary. It might be a smoke screen. They could just drop down to 4 points. You might be in good shape.
Well, you just told me he wasn't playing. That's why I told you it's hard to make these picks on a Wednesday.
I would be shocked if he played. He's also probably looking forward to Modern Warfare 3 coming out soon, so he's got that going for him. JJ, thoughts on Browns Cardinals? You're on the Browns to cover, whether it's Deshaun Watson, whether it's DTR, whether it's whoever it is, whether it's PJ Walker. Browns win this one with ease and get to 5-3.
Home field advantage, man, to the Browns. I almost made it my survivor pick, but I just couldn't put it all together. PJ Walker winning me my survivor. I gotta survive in advance somehow. But I do think they get the cover. If I had to make a pick, I think defense gets it together here at home. I do, and then Clayton Tune plays, and he can sling it too, man. At Houston, he was pretty dang good. I know they didn't win a lot of games, but the offense moved in Houston with Clayton Tune at quarterback. So with that being said, I'm still going with the Browns. I like them to cover.
I love it. He's talking about Clayton too, and then he goes Browns. Coach Jay, I'm coming back to you here in this game. In this touchdown last game, PJ Walker has 7 turnovers in like 2 games. It hasn't looked good, but they almost beat the Seahawks last week. Did you catch any of that game, Coach?
I did. That was a good game. PJ has turned it over, but I think he's performed pretty well despite the turnovers that you talk. Never want your quarterback to turn it over, but he's held the fort down pretty good despite not getting a lot of reps. And it's very difficult for a backup quarterback to come in there and take over for a team that's pretty established and going about it one way with Deshaun Watson. Then he's thrown in the mix. So I think hats off to PJ the way he's played personally.
And I have to ask you, because there were so many Browns fans in Cleveland wanting me to ask you this specific question. The most controversial thing been talked about for the past several days in Cleveland Browns media, the 3rd and 3 pass call. As a former NFL head coach, do you put the ball in PJ Walker's hands there, or would you have run it and put the game in the hands of a defense that was playing pretty damn well in the second half? You take your chances, you punt, you get better field position. Thoughts on the controversial Kevin Stefanski 3rd and 3 call?
I think it is controversial. I don't think I'd throw an interior slant route on 3rd down and 3 with the ball hawks of the Seattle Seahawks secondary. One thing to do a bootleg and get PJ outside the pocket, see if you hit a down flat or a little low cross. If not, you slide it and punt and let your defense win the game. That's the approach I would have taken, where you can see the throw, don't have to worry about batted balls and all that. But that's just me. I would not have made that call.
That was the popular assessment in Cleveland. Everybody wanted them to run the ball. But we're on to week 9. Let's keep rolling here. Next game on the slate, Bills, Bengals. JJ, I'm coming to you here first, my man. I'm taking the Bengals. You're taking the Bengals. Joe Burrow looks like he is all the way back. Slinging it against the 49ers last week. That defense looks good. Hype up the Cincinnati Bengals, the team down south in Ohio, and I'm with you, man. I think they win this game. And honestly, Josh Allen and the Bills haven't looked good. I think the Bengals could win this game by a touchdown.
I really watched this game, and it was a great game. And Joe Burrow looked awesome. Like I got some kind of basically a feeling from him that I haven't seen from a quarterback since like Tom Brady. I'm not saying that he's as good as Tom Brady, but that his actions and getting up from a run on a first down, a gain on a first down from him, and how he gets up and presented himself was awesome to watch. And I just think he's playing with a lot of moxie right now. The offense is finally clicking, and that's going to be a very hard offense to stop with all those weapons that they have. Defensively, they look great too. I mean, Brock Purdy doesn't look too great, but I mean, to hold the 49ers to what they did on the road is very, very impressive. Josh Allen and the Bills do not look so good on offense. They're still looking to get kind of things rolling there. Defense is kind of in shambles right now. Again, we talked about Milano being out, Tre'Davious White being out. I'm not sure how they're going to be putting that together. I like the Bengals here. I think this value is good. But again, this could be a little bit of a trap. I'm going to say trap here just because of what we saw from them in San Fran and how the Bills have been kind of presenting themselves the last couple of weeks. So this could be a dangerous play, but I have to go with Cincinnati.
Coach Jazz, see it nod in your head there when he mentions trap. How you got to explain? How are you on the Bills here? How are you on the Bills?
You know what? I thought it was a weird line the way the Bengals looked last week. I just think the Buffalo Bills are pretty good, and Joe Burrow had like 6 carries for 59 yards. I just don't think I anticipate that happening again. I still want to see this passing game evolve a little bit more, and it will as the season goes on. But right now, I love the way Poyer plays a Micah Hyde. They change coverages. They bring different pressures, and I want to see the Cincinnati Bengals pick that up. And I know Josh Allen will make some plays with his legs and Stephon Diggs. I think it'll be a great game, but I just took the Bills. What the hell?
What the hell? I don't think the Bills shot personally, and you guys might think I'm just completely insane, but I think their window is closing. It sounds bizarre, but Josh Allen it does seem like he's getting better to me. Is that bizarre? It seems like the turnovers keep happening more and more. They beat the Bucs by 24-18. I know it was a backdoor cover. They got lucky, but they lost to the Patriots. Like they barely beat the Giants with Tyrod Taylor. JJ, is that bizarre to think that I just feel like Josh Allen's not getting any better? He's good, but he's not getting any better.
I wish we could roll back the tape to preseason bets because I'm pretty sure I told you guys that the Buffalo Bills were not going to make the playoffs this year. The opportunities are closing. They're going to blow up here soon. I agree with you. Their opportunity is definitely closing here, especially if they can't get any wins. This is a tough game. What I'm curious about this game is going to be the emotion behind the Bills too, because don't forget about what happened last year. They're playing back in Cincinnati where the whole thing went down. With DeMar Hamlin. So we'll have to see if that emotion kind of carries them through with the win. That's another kind of scary point to think about and giving them some emotion to play behind.
Josh Allen kind of hurt his shoulder against the Giants. I don't know if you guys know that. His AC joint on his right arm. So he's been hindered a little bit. They played on a Thursday night, so he's had some more time to rest, and I think he'll be back to 100%. Watch out, Cincinnati.
Watch out. You heard it here from Coach Jay. Let's go to Germany. Dolphins, Chiefs. I know this pick says at Chiefs. Chiefs are labeled the whole team, but this game is in Germany. Everyone's on the Chiefs, but I'm on the under. That JJ, I'm coming to you, man. That travel time is gonna wear on them, and I'm telling you what, man. You guys, I might gain another spot of ground here in the rankings because I don't see this game going over. I think we're gonna see a lower scoring game than I thought. Let's be real here, guys. The Dolphins haven't beat a good team yet this year. They're 6-2. They have a good offense, but they haven't beat a good team this year. The Chiefs just lost to the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson and Sean Payton. So, JJ, before we believe in the hype on the Dolphins, can they please beat a good team?
They possibly could. I mean, benefits them because, they're coming from just Florida. I mean, it's a 5-hour time travel difference, but I like the Chiefs here. Again, just because I haven't seen the Dolphins beat anybody good, so that's the only reason why I'm on the Chiefs this game. I'm excited for this game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring one. You talk about jet lag, but it goes on both sides of the ball, so hopefully it maybe affects the Chiefs' defense here. They've been doing really well on defense. They're due for a kind of a trip over themselves and letting up a lot of points, especially against a high-powered offense like the Dolphins. I personally like the over here more so than the Chiefs because I think the Dolphins can run up the score a little bit. And with Patrick Mahomes still kind of being sick, who I'm sure he'll probably get over it. But the offense didn't look good against the Denver freaking Broncos. So, but I like the Chiefs here again. I think it could have been more of a pick 'em, especially at a neutral site. But then again, I'll go ahead with the over here.
Coach Jay, your same exact alignment as JJ is here. Germany game is going to be fun, 9:30 a.m. Are you a fan of the early games and the travel games? How are you feeling about this one? And again, the Dolphins, do you agree that they have to beat a good team before we start really hyping them up like everybody else seems to hype them up?
No, they're pretty good. I think jet lag will get the cheetah. He's going to, instead of running 4-2-2, he's probably going to run 4-2-3 in Germany. So it's not that big a deal. But the Dolphins are a good football team. They've played very well. They have an explosive offense. We all know that. Their defense is getting better and better. They just added Jalen Ramsey. This is a tough pick for me. I took Kansas City because I think they'll pressure Tua a little bit more. The over I took because I think there'll be a lot of points, just 2-minute drill, some of these things that'll happen in this game. But I'm not too far off the under with you, Grant. This is going to be one hell of a game, a tough game to pick. But I just think Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes coming off a loss, I think he's going to get his receivers involved a little bit. One of them is going to have to step up for the Kansas City Chiefs to continue to climb the ladder like we all think they will. But one of those receivers, 2 of them have to step up, not just Kelsey.
Yeah, you mentioned their receivers, and I look at their roster, and they're just a bunch of nobodies. Could you imagine if Patrick Mahomes had like a decent receiver? Like, he's so good with Travis Kelce, but JJ, I see you looking at me like that. Dude, he doesn't have
Don't be mean to Sky Moore.
Okay, stop it. Stop it. It's like saying the Magic are good, JJ. Stop it. Come on now. Let's move on. Next game on the slate. Let me check my notes. Jaron Hall versus Taylor Heineke. We're going back to a battle of the mid in this game. I am the only one on the Vikings to cover here. Are we Taylor Heineke believers out here? Coach Jay, I'm gonna come back to you here. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Like, the kid can play. We saw him do it a couple times in Washington. I mean, the kid can play. Are we just taking Heineke over Jaron Hall here? Is that your analysis here, Coach?
Yes, it is. And I like Heineke. He's a tough guy. He'll make some plays with his legs off schedule. He's tough. He might throw some into traffic. He'll miss some throws. His arm strength isn't crazy good, but he's a good football player, very similar to like a Gardner Minshew, not quite as good, but that type of player, a gritty, tough guy that can make some plays happen. And usually when he plays, for whatever reason, he's got that intangible of leadership, and the players play hard around him, and they love the way he competes, and that rubs off on everybody else. That's why I took Atlanta -5. I don't know this quarterback from Minnesota, but I know whenever it's your first start, it's a little scary. And I think Atlanta comes back because Atlanta has to win this game to keep pace in the NFC South.
Do you think that Desmond Ritter's days are over in Atlanta, Coach Jay?
I wouldn't say over. I think, we'll see how Taylor Heineke does. If he does extremely well, then maybe, but he's so young still. I hate to give up on a quarterback after just so few starts, because he can run, he's athletic. I hate to just say, okay, you started a year and a couple games, you're done. There's more to playing quarterback. You need the experience of playing. You need the repetition. You need to get better. Imagine if somebody did that to Peyton Manning after his first year, or Troy Aikman, right? I'm not saying that he's Troy Aikman or Peyton Manning, but you know what I'm saying. You need experience, you need reps.
For sure. JJ, what do you know about Jaren Hall? Anything? I know I feel bad because Kirk Cousins was absolutely balling out. That injury sucks. And I know you love betting on the Vikings, so it's very unfortunate. But what you know about Jaren Hall?
BYU, that's it, basically. The Falcons, they have a good secondary. Their defense, we talked about their defense being pretty good in the earlier part of the season. They kind of fell off a little bit, especially against Tennessee last week. Secondary didn't look good after DeAndre Hopkins torched him for 3 touchdowns, and Will Levis threw for 4. But I think they get it back together. I think they're going to be able to, relax a little bit more, knowing that Hall is going to be the quarterback. And I don't know how Minnesota's going to really move the ball, because you can stack the box a little bit more. You can really let Hall try to throw the ball on you and probably get rewarded with it on man coverage. So I like the Falcons here to win, and it's going to be a low scoring game, but they figure out a way to get it done.
The next game on the slate, we'll keep moving here. Rams-Packers. This year is just interesting. It seems like quarterbacks are getting banged up left and right. Matt Stafford is now day-to-day with that thumb injury or finger injury, whatever it is. Stetson Bennett is out, so their backup quarterback is Brett Rapine. And then you've got on the other side, Jordan Love. Packers GM came out today and said that they don't know if Jordan Love is the franchise quarterback, and they've got about 10 games to figure that out. Coach Jay, you are with me. You're on the Packers. Again, Matthew Stafford's banged up, whether he plays or not. I'm believing in Jordan Love, and it sounds like you're believing in Jordan Love this week at home to take care of business against the Rams.
Yeah, I know how important a thumb is when you play quarterback, and I'm banking on, I think the Rams have a bye week next week, and I'm banking on Stafford taking a week off, and Brett Ripon, that's Mark Ripon's son, I believe, not Reaping. What'd you call him?
I don't know what I call him.
Ripon.
Yeah.
Rapine.
Anyway, he's got some experience in the league and a pretty good game manager as well, but I'm taking Jordan Love to bounce back. That's to be a low-scoring game, I believe. Cooper and Puka will have their catches, probably the intermediate stuff, but it'll be hard for them to manufacture big plays. Green Bay's still got a pretty good defense. I'm banking on Jordan Love throwing 1 or 2. Hopefully Romeo Dubes or Aaron Jones. Maybe let Aaron Jones in the game and let him play a little bit more. Green Bay, please. He's a hell of a back. And then I think they can win the game.
Jim, go ahead and throw those picks back up for the Rams-Packers. Am I seeing this right? JJ, what are you doing? You're taking the Rams.
Have you seen the Packers play? I mean, are we seriously back in the Packers right now? They've been so disappointing this entire season. I don't care who's playing quarterback. Ripon, he's started quarterback for Broncos a couple games. I mean, he has some reps. So, I mean, it's not going to be terrible. They still got Cup. They still got Puka. I mean,
You're right.
Still okay. I mean, let's go. I mean, how can you back the Packers really? I mean, Jordan Love, if you had to put the two next to each other, are you really giving the bigger advantage to Jordan Love after how he looked this season?
Absolutely.
Let's do it to their running game. Dylan and Jones, and then the Packer defense. Rams
There's
defense.
There's a big motherfucker in the middle, though. Big number 99, though.
I'm sorry, JJ. I'm not going to believe it. A guy whose career stats are 4 touchdowns, 8 picks, 820 yards. He played in Denver. So what? He's not good.
I believe, man. I believe. But let's go look at Jordan Love's stats the last couple of weeks.
And I get it, but we also can't undermine. It's hard to play in Lambeau, right, Coach? I mean, Lambeau's a tough place to play. And so
long plane ride, JJ.
Wouldn't you think though this spread would be a little bit higher though too? I mean, for the Packers.
Oh, you're right, JJ, because the Packers are playing awful right now. You're 100% right. And the Rams do have some star power still with Nakua and Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. You're right. Just defensively, the Packers or the Rams have struggled a little bit as of late. And I just think the Packers might get their running game going, be a low-scoring game, and Packers win it like 20-10. That's all.
Let's do it, Coach. I'm right there with you. We're fading JJ on this pick. Let's keep rolling here. Next game on the slate, Commanders, Patriots. This game, 3-5 versus 2-6. Everyone's on the Patriots because, I mean, who's going to play defense for the Commanders? They just sold everybody off. Mac Jones going to have a good game this week. I'm on the over. I see points. Sam Howell can put up points. They still have weapons on that side of the ball. They didn't trade Gibson. They've still got the other back. They've got weapons at receiver. And then the Patriots, they struggle to put up points at times. But, Coach, do you think this has a shot to go over? I know you're on the under, but was this close to you, or were you firm believer that this game's going under?
Well, Washington is like 29th in the league in defense. So, yes, it could go over without a doubt. I just think at New England, it might be a little nippy up there in New England. Mac Jones, I think they need to run the ball a little bit. The clock will be rolling. The one thing about Washington's offensive line, they played much better against Philly this past week. Philly didn't blitz a lot. They brushed 4 basically and brought 1 backer dogs, which are easy to pick up. New England's a different deal now. Belichick, they have some crazy looking blitzes, hard to pick up, a lot of stunts. Washington's offensive line has horrible time with line stunts on defense. And Belichick's son, they do an unbelievable job with these TEs, ETs, ETTEs, TTETT. I mean, they're crazy. They're banging all over the place. So that's where I think they struggle. That's why I took New England. That's why I took the under.
I just picked up Kendrick Bourne in fantasy, and he tore his damn ACL. JJ, Patriots.
How do I follow that up? That was amazing. I mean,
it was good.
I mean, I just think, New England being favored by 3.5 points against a team is pretty crazy of its own. I mean, if anything, this game should be a pick 'em, but it's not. I mean, it just screams to me, take New England here. I think New England covers. I think they're going to win by 10. It's going to be a bloodbath. I think New England's going to get this easy win.
He's laughing at your bloodbath take, man.
You can't use my lines. I use bloodbath. You can't use bloodbath.
I'm holding out hope for the 0% line with the rest of the slate. I'm holding out hope. I don't know if you're eyeing any of these games. Got a 0% chance, but we'll go to Bears Saints next game on here. Coach, do you have a thing for this Tyson Bagent guy? I mean, last week you said he was gonna cover against Justin Herbert on the road. This week you're saying he's gonna cover on the road against Derek Carr and the Saints, who, don't forget now, I think they've won. No, they've only won 1 game. They have won 2 in a row, but they're putting up points. I mean, how is Bagent and the Bears going to cover in this game against the Saints in New Orleans?
I'm looking at that pick, wondering who made that pick for me.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm hoping it's a low-scoring game and a backdoor cover. Bagent, they get the running game going for Foreman, Deontay. They make some plays with some screens like they did a couple of weeks ago. The Saints have struggled all year long on offense as well until last week. They had a pretty good game. I got to see them build on that last week's game. They have young receivers. They're learning. They'll get Kamara the ball. I get it. But I just got to see them put another game on top of another game in order for me to bet on them -7.5, which is a big number in pro football, in my opinion.
It is. You're right. It is a big number, and it did scare me a little bit. JJ, I'm glad you're not talking crazy tonight. You're not taking Bagent against the Saints.
Absolutely not.
How are you feeling?
No way. Defense looked good for the Saints last week. Offense was clicking. Rashid Shaheed, big touchdown throw. Kamara looked great. Michael Thomas got involved with a touchdown. I mean, Taysom Hill was running a couple in. I mean, it was awesome. It was awesome to watch. The Saints offense was clicking. I don't like betting against a team who looked as bad as they did last week against the against the Chargers. And then I'm betting against a team who looked as good as they did last week with the Saints and against Indy. So, I mean, I got to go with New Orleans here. There's no way I can back Bagent. I think that they're going to get this win. Again, they got to solidify themselves too in the NFC South. And what better way to do it than embarrass the Bears?
I'm right there with you, man. Let's go embarrass the Bears. It sounds like Derek Carr yelling at his goddamn receivers paid off because everybody got involved last week. So, fantastic week. We're going to build on it. Let's keep rolling, Jim. Next game on the slate, Seahawks at Ravens. This one was tough. And JJ, I'm not going to chirp you for taking the Seahawks to cover because although they almost lost to PJ Walker, the Seahawks are a damn good football team. And they're due to have a good week, top to bottom, start to finish. And the Ravens are due to fall down to earth a little bit. And they almost did last week. I know they still won, but the Cardinals had a backdoor cover in there. So, JJ, I'm coming right back to you. I'm with you. I was close. I went Ravens because they're at home. But again, Geno Smith is due to get rolling. He turned the ball over a couple times against the Browns last week. So this seems like the week to you, JJ, that Geno Smith is coming to get back on track and they cover on the road in Baltimore.
I just think, and my dad might disagree with me. I feel like a team with a good run game playing against the Ravens. I think the Ravens struggle against a team with a really good run game. I think they struggled with Nick Chubb earlier in the year. Nick Chubb played against the Ravens, right? I believe he did a really good job in week 2 before he got hurt. Was that beforehand?
No, that was after.
That
He
was
got hurt week 2 in Pittsburgh.
Okay. Well, no, I mean, but still, nevertheless, I mean, I like Kenneth Walker. I really like him a lot. I think they're going to use him quite a bit this game, especially being on the road in Baltimore. They're going to try to control the game a little bit. They're going to ground and pound. They're going to open some things up more for Geno Smith. Geno Smith threw a bad interception late in that last half. I think he's going to learn from some things, and especially if you get the run game moment, opens up a little things, opens up the pass game for him. So that's why I like the Seahawks. I think it's going to be close. I think the Ravens are going to win because they look damn good. But I think it's going to be closer than people think. They might pull off the win. Who knows? But I like to see Seahawks at the points.
Coach Jay, you're with me. I took the Ravens. You took the Ravens. Is Lamar Jackson a top 3 quarterback in the NFL, or is that too high?
Yeah, and I mean, he's won MVP, Grant. I mean, what do you want him to do?
I love him. No, I'm asking you if he's top 3 because you got Mahomes, you got Jalen Hurts, you got Joe Burrow. So I'm just asking if you think he's top 3.
Right in there. I mean, he's right in there. Top 5. Who cares? 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Patrick Mahomes is 1. Then you get Joe Burrow's 2, and then Allen, Lamar.
Oh, don't you dare put Josh Allen over Lamar. Can't do that.
Okay. Josh Allen is terrible, right?
He's not, but he's not better than Lamar Jackson.
A lot of games with Josh Allen.
You'd rather have Josh Allen right now than Deshaun Watson.
Who are you talking to me? Asking me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. Of course I'm talking to you.
I absolutely would, but I'm not saying Lamar Jackson's better than Josh Allen.
Yeah, he might be. I mean, I'm saying they're close. I mean, if I was at Buffalo, I'd be happy as hell to have Josh Allen. I don't know if I'd trade him for Lamar Jackson. And if I was at Baltimore and I had Lamar, I don't think I'd trade him for Josh Allen. How's that?
All right, Coach. You starting a franchise today. Are you starting your franchise with Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson if you had to pick one?
If I had to pick one, how old's Lamar?
I don't know. Young enough.
Take the younger one. Whoever's younger, I'll take.
Okay. They're 1A, 1B. I know you just said it. Talk to us about the game, though. I mean,
it's going to be a great game. You know, I do want to switch one thing. I want to play this under, by the way. Baltimore's #1 defense in the league, and they're very efficient at what they do. They stop the run. They have played great coverage in the back end. They disguise their blitzes very, very well. I mean, they're very, very good at that. And I think that's what gives Geno Smith trouble when he doesn't know where to go with the football. He'll try to force it to DK or lock it, and I think he'll run into some problems and throw some picks. That's where I think the difference is. That's where I think Baltimore gets the victory. Lamar's playing efficient. He's thrown 9 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, completing 70% of his passes. That's pretty damn good. And I think that Geno, if he has an Achilles heel, he has a tendency to force the ball at inopportune times. And that's where I think Baltimore turns the corner and gets the win. But I do love the fact Seattle got Leonard Williams. That'll really help the run defense and stop Gus Edwards. So Lamar's going to have to make more plays within the pocket.
Lamar's doing it with a washed-up Odell, with the Rashad Bateman, with a bunch of nobody receivers.
Zay Flowers is pretty good.
Zay Flowers is good. Okay,
Mark Andrews is pretty good.
Stop it. Would you rather have the Bills receiving core or the Ravens receiving core?
You're such a biased Cleveland Brown fan.
I love Lamar Jackson. How is that a biased Cleveland Browns fan?
Weapons, though, too, on top of it. You just named Mark Andrews. Zay Flowers is nice.
Okay, would you rather have the Bills receiving core or the Ravens receiving core?
I mean, come on.
You're
asking me if I want to have Stephon Diggs or Zay Flowers right now.
Exactly. That's my point. Is Lamar is doing a lot more.
They're still solid. I mean, let's go against some of the other teams.
Would you rather have Mark Andrews or who you got? Dawson Knox.
I would rather have Mark Andrews.
All right,
overall,
so it evens out there, big fella.
I don't think it evens out. I think Lamar's doing more with less, but it's my opinion. It could be wrong. Here we go. Bucs Texans. Let's keep rolling. Coach Jay back in Baker Mayfield this week on the road. The Texans did just lose to the Panthers. Panthers got their first win, but Coach Jay, walk me through it. I'm curious to see your thoughts on taking Baker on the road against a CJ Stroud who you love.
I love him. I love it. I love CJ's potential. I just know Todd Bowles and going against a rookie quarterback is going to try to get after him often. The linebackers for Tampa Bay will wreak havoc on that offensive line, and the backs will cover a lot of ground. Damian Pierce will struggle. I just think that the Tampa Bay defense will win this game for him. And I think in due time, CJ Stroud will have the poise and knock these guys out in a couple years. But right now, I think Todd Bowles will have a plan ready for CJ Stroud. And Baker Mayfield, to me, has looked okay. He'll get the ball to Mike Evans and make a few plays, and Tampa Bay gets the win.
100%. You just mentioned touchdown to interception ratio about Lamar. And how about the rookie CJ Scott? 9 touchdowns to 1 interception. That's pretty damn impressive. JJ, I'm coming to you here. You're on the Texans with me. Baker Mayfield, he's fallen off, right? You're taking the Texans all the way.
I mean, it's not just Baker Mayfield. There's a couple things. I mean, CJ Stroud too. I mean, the Buccaneers can't get off the field on third downs. They're last in the league. And I just think that, with the Texans, you can ground and pound with Dameon Pierce. You can make some things open. But you got Nico Collins coming back. He played really well last week. You got a couple other weapons on that offense. I have a feeling that what's his face, the tight end, he's going to be involved a little bit too this week. But then again, you look at the Tampa Bay's defense. I also look at the win total for the Buccaneers. This is where they're going to kind of go downhill. Remember that over/under was set at 6.5. They got 3 wins right now. They're coming pretty close. They're going to start going down because that under is going to still hit this season. This is a game where they lose against the Texans.
Let's go to Colts Panthers. JJ, I'm coming right back to you here because you're. I will say you're making me second guess a couple of these picks, man. These sell jobs you've had. I know you're with me on the last one, but you're crushing it today. I'm proud of you, JJ. I'm on the Panthers to cover. I think they could win 2 games in a row here. Call me crazy. I know the Texans the Colts and Gardner Minshew could put up points, but Bryce Young got his first win. They're feeling good. They're feeling confident. The Colts have a better defense. They have a better offense overall, but I just think this is one of those games. This could be a trap, and I see the Panthers winning this game, JJ. Do you think there's a shot?
No, you missed the trap. It was last week when they played against the Texans. This week this is the week where the Colts are going to capitalize. They're still in the race for the AFC South, right? So they got to win this one. Gardner Minshew is still playing okay. The offense is still moving through them. Michael Pittman's going to have a big game. Defensively, Panthers aren't there. I think the Colts are still okay on defense. We talked about them having a good defense earlier this season. They kind of fell off a little bit with that big blowout with the Browns and last week against the Saints. They're going to get it together. And what better team to get it together against than the Panthers, right? Coming off a big win, moral victory, yippee. But now go back to reality. Colts win this one easy.
I got to cut you off. I was just giving you damn credit, JJ. You just told me the Colts are in the race for the AFC South. They're in fucking last place. They're 3-5. They're not in the race for the AFC South.
Stop.
The Jags are 6-2. They're not in the race.
They can come back. It's still there. They got to win. They got to
still
place. They got to come. They got to come. Some wins together.
They are in last place. They are not in the race. Coach Jay, do you think that the Panthers can win this game, or are you? There's no way.
I will say that the Colts have 0.00.
Let's go. There it is.
Come back and win that division. All
there
right.
we go.
As for this game, I'm on Gardner Minshew mania. I think that the Colts bounce back. Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss, they have a big day. Michael Pittman Jr. is going to have some catches. It's going to be exciting for the Colts. Panthers, congratulations on your first one. I do expect Adam Thielen to have some catches if he's playing, if he's healthy, which I think he is. And they'll do some good things. They're starting to progress. You like to see young teams and young quarterbacks just slowly get better and better, and they're doing that. But I just think right now I'll take the Indianapolis Colts and the running game and Gardner Minshew, baby.
I can't blame you. And also Josh Downs looks pretty damn good. Young stud.
Oh yeah, for sure. I forgot about him.
Yeah, he's putting up some numbers. So Colts probably win it, but I just got a weird feeling that the Panthers could get it done. Let's go to the next game on the slate. We're moving. Giants at Raiders. This is an ugly game. You've got the rookie for the Raiders coming in at quarterback, and then you've got Daniel Jones coming back, the $140 million man. Saquon's got to have a big game. I got him on my fantasy team, especially because CMC's on a bye. JJ, you're the only one back in the Raiders. I will say, I think there's a crazy stat out there that after a team fires their head coach, I see you shaking your head. Let's get back to the headshots here. That stat's real, right? Like that stat's real.
That's real. It's a real thing.
Did that play into your pick?
It's crazy. The team always somehow wins too. It's bizarre.
Did that play into your pick?
That's exactly what I'm doing that for, man. I mean, the Giants don't look impressive either. I mean, Daniel Jones is coming back. Yeah, they got to travel to Oakland, or they got to travel to Las Vegas, rather. It's going to be tough. And I love that stat. Head coach getting fired and having them play afterwards. They tend to win, and I really like that play there.
What about you, Coach? Do you believe in that stat? After a coach gets fired, they win?
Well, stats are stats, Grant. If it's a stat, it's a stat. It's real, so it must be real, but just not Sunday. The Giants are going to go in. I watched the offensive line very closely for these Las Vegas Raiders, and I don't know if they could block the three of us in a rush. It's a struggle. Then the Giants have a very good front. I know they just lost Leonard Williams, I believe. So, but they have a lot of great players, Lawrence, and I like the Giants front, the way they move around. I just think it's going to be a struggle for Aiden O'Connell, who's starting, right, for the Raiders.
Yeah. Yep.
It'll be a struggle.
Hopefully Thibodeau might get a sack. That would be a good little prop play. Thibodeau record a sack. I like that.
And Daniel Jones come back healthy. He'll get some rushing yards and get Saquon back involved, some zone reads. It'll be pretty nice. I think the Giants come back after losing a horrible, heartbreaking loss last week.
How the hell did they lose that game, Coach? How many punts were there in that game? Like 25?
Saquon on 4th and 1 and call it a day.
Yeah, I was shocked that they won that game. It keeps the Jets and Zach Wilson, in the playoff hunt.
I love being an armchair quarterback, by the way. It's fun.
Let's go to a non-shitty game on the slate. Cowboys and Eagles. This one should be fun. I'm the only one on the Cowboys. I'm coming back to it, Coach Day. I'm beating a dead horse, but where's all the Cowboys love you were giving me not 6 weeks ago, man? I mean, the Eagles are really good. They're 7-1. The Cowboys just put an ass whooping on the Rams last week. I know, I believe, let me go back to it. The pick's gone. Cowboys are on the road, so it is in Philly, which is a tough place to play. Jalen Hurts' knee is banged up, so I'm surprised that played into my pick. I know I did a play into yours. I know you're on the Eagles, but I think the Cowboys could come get a statement and a big win this weekend.
They could. I like the Cowboys. I think these are, obviously 2 of the top 4 teams in the NFC going at it. I took the home team. I love what Jalen Hurts did last week against Washington. He's hurt a little bit. He only had a couple carries. He still beat the Commanders with his arm. Didn't have to worry about his legs so much. He still has functional movement in the pocket. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. How do you bet against A.J. Brown right now the way he's playing? He's going to get another 150 yards at that Cowboys secondary. And I just think the Eagles right now, they'll figure out their secondary issues and their front four will get some more pressure. But I got to go with the home team in this rivalry. It's a hell of a rivalry, and I take the home field always in these rivalry games.
Yeah, there were 8 passing touchdowns in that game combined between Sam Howell and Jalen Hurts. Are they going to McLaurin is their leading receiver? Some people were saying that he's not producing, but he's their leading receiver, so he is. I'm going to ignore that Twitter stat. JJ, we're coming to you. How are you feeling about this game overall, man?
No, I can't trust Dak on the road. We saw what he did in Arizona. We saw what he did in San Francisco. Now he's got to go to a hostile Philadelphia territory, which is always hard to play. Big game for him. It's nationally televised. It's the game of the week on Fox. We all know how that is. I don't think he's going to do well, man. I really don't. I like Jalen Hurts still. I like that Eagles offense. How can you bet against A.J. Brown, man? He's playing unbelievable right now. Defensively for the Eagles, they're playing great too. It's going to be tough to beat them on the road, and that's why I got to go.
CD's playing pretty good. Dak's playing pretty good. CD's playing pretty good. The Cowboys defense. It's a great game. I don't trust
Dak on the road. Dak can't play on the road. He can't beat good teams on the road.
Just give the other team a little credit.
I'll give a little credit, but I don't want to give Dak too much credit because he can't beat good teams on the road.
The Eagles are 3-0 at home this year, so that's the stat that's got going for him. And I agree, Dak Prescott isn't good on the road, but he's got to be at some point if he wants to be the man to get him to the promised land. So what better way to do it than this week, where I'm taking him to cover, and I might even take him to win the game outright. So I love it. Last game on the slate. Let's move. Monday Night Football. The Chargers at the Jets. JJ, man. Zach Wilson's going to cover. It's in New York. They have a good defense. I don't want to hear it, dude. Zach Wilson's not covering against Justin Herbert. They're 3-4. Chargers are going to roll in this game, man.
Jets, Jets. All day, baby. They're going to win this ball game, man. They're going to win. The spread should be higher, too. It should be higher with how well the Chargers played, how good they looked offensively, defensively, all whole 9. I know they went against Badger, but they looked a little bit better. Offensively, they were moving it. I love the Jets here. I think the Jets are actually rolling. How is Aaron Rodgers freaking taking snaps right now on the field before the game is?
Yeah, this guy's nuts.
It's nuts. It's crazy.
What? I don't think it's abnormal from the progression of an Achilles. He's not like pressing off and running sprints. He's just standing there throwing.
He took some passes. He dropped back a couple times. I mean,
he did drop back.
Some pressure. Yeah, he dropped back.
I don't think he's going to race anybody in a sprint anytime soon.
Do you think he's now that you see him though warming up like that? Does he come back and play this year?
I would go by the science and the data of torn Achilles and how long it takes a torn Achilles to recover from an athlete a professional athlete to play in a professional football game to avoid a rush, how long does that take? That's what I'm going to go by. If he does something different, then good for him. I hope it happens because I'd love to see him back here. But I'm just going by the data of all millions and millions of other torn Achilles that have happened in the past.
Now, let's use the data and tell your son why the Chargers are going to blow the Jets out of the water. Please.
Well, I don't know if they're going to blow them out the water because I don't think you can blow the Jets out of the water because their defense is really, 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 really good. So I just think that the offense of the New York Jets is really, 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 really bad. And I think the Chargers have enough weapons where they can make some things happen and win another low-scoring thriller. But I think Chargers with Justin Herbert, his running ability, his ability to get the ball to the receivers, Palmer stepping up in a big way, I think that they can make a few plays. Eckler's showing up now in the passing game, which I love. They just have too many weapons where I think they can hit the Jets a couple times, and I don't think the Jets have enough weapons other than Wilson, obviously, to hit the Chargers.
It's a good point, Coach. The Jets have lost 3 games. They've won 3 in a row, but in their 3 losses, they got blown out once by the Cowboys by 20. But in their other 2 losses, they lost by 5 and they lost by 3. So it is hard to blow that team out. Every pick is in. We're going to close with survivor picks, and then I will announce who won the jersey. Coach Jay, I'm coming right back to you. I have it jotted down. Survivor pick of the week. Who wins Survivor?
Didn't I give it to you?
You did.
Yeah,
Do you remember?
Atlanta, right?
Yes,
Yep.
Atlanta.
Yeah. The Atlanta Falcons.
JJ, your Survivor pick.
Taylor Heineke, baby.
We're going Saints, baby. Going the Saints. Offense is clicking. Defense is good. We're going to be all right. They're going to be all right. They're going to easily win.
Man,
Who you got, Grant? Oh, you're out of it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's with the Bills or the Dolphins. What was it? Dolphins.
I
You were
deserve.
shitting on the Dolphins too earlier in the show.
I deserve to be chirped for that.
Yeah, he took the Dolphins. Josh Allen stinks. Yeah.
Well,
5
he does.
touchdowns later.
He does stink. That's why I faded him.
Later.
That's why I faded him. But I was sold that the Dolphins were a good team, and they probably still are. But they've got to beat a good team first for me to claim them one of the top teams in the NFL. As we close, James Maddox, if you're still watching, congratulations on the jersey giveaway. If not, we will send you a direct message. Thank you guys for all the love and support. Coach Jay, Coach JJ, thanks for joining us as always. We will catch you guys next week.
Thank you.
Giannis over 11.5 rebounds, by the way.